In just a couple of hours, the checkered flag will have waved, the champagne will have sprayed, and the drivers' uniforms will be hung. It will all be over. But not yet. This is the grand finale, the Lordco 200, the final round of a 2018 SSCA Sim Speed Shop Truck Series. Hello fans and welcome to Homestead here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Hi everyone, I'm Samuel Ryman, and alongside me in the booth is Sean Ambrose. Our director Joe Peak is behind the scenes doing all of the button pushing using camera sets provided by Dougie Beard. Sean, it's time for the championship showdown, and as is tradition in NASCAR, we are here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway, the one warm place left in the United States at the end of this year.
Sam, we are, and you know what warm weather brings? It brings palm trees. 1,005 palm trees here, 15 different varieties. There's your fast fact about Homestead-Miami Speedway, just 40 miles south of Miami Beach. You know, they opened in 1995. This is still considered one of the newer tracks. It even went through a reconfiguration back in 2003. You know, Sam, great track. Half mile, 18, I'm sorry, mile and a half, 18, we'd really have a story, 18 to 20 degrees of progressive banking here, multiple lines, very fast, and a championship at stake. But let's hop on board the GSRC Chevrolet Silverado for a lap around Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Hello everyone and welcome to Homestead-Miami Speedway in Miami, Florida. I am Ryan Yazek, sending you for a lap around Homestead Speedway. The reason I'm starting on pit road is because Homestead has a very tricky exit and entrance, and I will cover both. So, without further ado, here we go. Drop it in gear, watch the pit lane speed limit, and this part of the track, the run area, I think is pretty much left over from when the track was a flat oval. Absolutely no banking for the truck to grip to as you're coming through here, waiting, and now you can finally get onto the loud pedal, merge out into the back straightaway, put it down into high gear, and here we go. Coming through 3 and 4 on my warm-up lap, I'm going to take you around 2 laps around here. The first is going to be kind of a mock qualifying run. The second one is going to be kind of how you're going to want to run this truck from the longer run standpoint. Out of turn 4. Watch it here as we come underneath the start-finish line here, getting ready for our entrance into turn 1. You're going to want to drive this truck almost way down into the bottom of the corner, letting it up, letting it float, coming through the corner, and coming out, waiting to get some momentum. Running here, there's a transition right there out of turn 2 that makes it very, very tricky. Entering turn 3, watch where the safe wall comes in. You're letting off about that line right there. You're going to let it float, and if you overdrive this corner, it will punish you because you're going to get tight. Now, also coming out of turn 4, you're going to find yourself running high. So now, we're going to run this lap kind of as a longer run. So now you're going to notice you're letting off way earlier. You're letting the truck float. You're letting it find grip. Because over the course of a long run, this truck is going to be screaming at you for grip. You're going to be fighting loose off. You're going to be fighting tight. You're going to be pretty much fighting everything here. Coming into turn 3, once again, nice long entrance. Really let the truck take a seat. And you're going to ease back into the gas right here. Coming around turn 4, watch it because the truck will want to push up to the wall. And now you have completed your laps around Homestead-Miami Speedway. Now, the bigger trick is getting back onto pit road, especially at the end of a long run when those tires are greasy, they're hot, they're slick, they're worn out, and just screaming to be changed. You're going to come off of turn 2 here, coming on down the back stretch. You're looking for your mark, and now you're going to want to dive in. Really heavy on the braking, slowing it down from 160 miles an hour down to 3rd gear. You're scrambling for grip. The truck doesn't want to come through here. Coming out right here, you can actually kind of start to get back down on the brake, 2nd gear, and hit the line, and you're on pit road. And that's the lap around Homestead-Miami Speedway.
And we're back from the lap around Homestead-Miami Speedway, and our sponsor tonight, Lordco. Yes, Lordco Auto Parts. It's the Lordco 200 tonight. Find them at lordco.com. You know, they're the largest distributor and retailer of automotive parts and accessories in British Columbia. With over 100 stores throughout the province, Lordco is your best bet for fast, reliable, helpful, and knowledgeable advice. They pride themselves on fast delivery and the right parts. When it comes to auto body needs, automotive equipment, high-performance parts, RV, or industrial goods, Lordco will have what you need. Visit them at lordco.com. Sam, well, the obvious is here. Championship is at stake tonight.
Yeah, normally this is a point where I hand over to you, Sean, and I always, I always say a prayer when I hand it over to you, because I know you're not the best at math, and I'm like, man, I'm giving Sean the championship standings. I know this is complicated. I really hope he does a good job of it. Sean, I trust you tonight. I trust you can explain this one to the viewers.
I don't... Boy, I'm really going to try not to screw this up, Sam, okay? Listen, it comes down to this, all right? Everybody, we've re-racked. It's the championship race. That's what they have coming in. But really, the simple fact is they all have 3,000 points right now. They sit with 3,000 points for one race. Whoever wins the championship. Hartman, he's hot. He's won the last 3 races coming in a Homestead. Obviously, he is the heavy favorite going in tonight. Judd Danielson, a favorite for the title, but it's going to be tough to beat Hartman. Daniel Jackson, it'll all be about strategy calls for him. Normally does well in the first 2 stages, so we'll see. Kevin Fetty won a tiebreaker over Ray Richard with that 4th place finish at Phoenix. You know what, man? Sam, Hartman, again, heavy favorite, but any one of these 4, a great chance to win this championship tonight.
Yes, there's 4 names on the left side of your screen now. As you mentioned, Sean, whichever of those finishes in front takes home the title. So that will be Hartman, Jackson, Danielson, and Fetty. Now, currently we've got qualifying underway here. You can see in the top left of your screen, we just got a few minutes of that left, although I think everyone has actually turned in their lap, and it looks like William Hartman will be our pole sitter, and that is dangerous for the rest of the field, Sean, because he has won the last 3 races on the trot coming into tonight's event.
Yeah, that doesn't really breathe a lot of confidence into the field, does it, Sam? It's probably the last guy they wanted to see at the top. Geez, another track that William Hartman appears to be really good at. So, yeah, you know what, Sam? We've got a small field tonight, which means strategy might be the ultimate call this evening. Can someone outsmart William Hartman and make a bold move that gets them this race? 13 trucks, Sam. I expect the cautions to be down. Certainly, if there's any trouble early, boy, it'll thin the field out really quick.
Yeah, but we bring up this other point here, Sean. Just like every other race of the season, this is a stage race. We'll go into specifics in a moment. But here's the thing, as we'll actually bring our race details up here, you'll see everything is the same. We still have a limited amount of 5 sets of tires during the race. If you cause an incident, you have to go to the back. If you cause 2, you could be penalized. It's the last race of the season. We're racing the NASCAR trucks and fixed setup. But here's the thing. Let's go back to 2 key points here. 5 sets of tires you're limited to for the race, and 3 stages. It's tricky to go a lap down here, Sean. It's a 1.5 miles long. The lap times, though, they take over half a minute. And even if you restart last, you're not going to be far behind the leader because we only have 13 cars. So there's a difference in how to approach tonight's race than the other 20 or so we've had so far this season, in that our 4 drivers racing for the championship don't have to worry about racing for stage points. You know, they can sacrifice their results in those opening 2 stages and maybe save all of their tires for the final stage. I mean, that's an extreme strategy, but you can afford to think outside the box for tonight's event.
Well, you're going to have to. You may not be able to beat William Hartman on speed, and it may take a special strategy to get it settled. Sam, what is that going to be? I don't know. We'll have to let this race play out over the first couple of stages just to kind of get an idea of which way the wind is blowing with the field. Again, early trouble here while they're trying to get heat into the tires could be a problem. So we'll see. Maybe worth taking a look at the weather real quick and seeing where we're at there. But it's a beautiful day. It's partly cloudy. It's a typical Miami type weather. 88 degrees on track and about 80 degrees outside. A little bit of wind I'd be concerned about, Sam, as it's gusting from 8 to 10 miles an hour at times. And down the straightaways, that could be a little bit of a problem. We'll see.
All right, so it looks like everyone's put in a qualifying lap who's going to put in the qualifying lap, which means the round 23 winner of the Sim Speed Shop Pole Award is going to be William Hartman. Remember, for every 2 poles this season, a driver earns $5, and the driver who has earned the most poles at the end of a season earns $20, courtesy of simspeedshop.com, which is a great place to order custom button boxes as well as to buy and sell used equipment. For more information, go to simspeedshop.com. And with those guys being the title sponsor of the series, Sean, we really appreciate what those guys have done, with the Pole Award, with helping fund the series and, put on some great shows for us during the course of a year.
Yes, they have, and be sure to visit them now. Open up another tab, simspeedshop.com, and check out their great offerings as we roll down the pit lane here. A bit of lingering smoke there on screen. Sam, it's just about time to get this kicked off. Just a minute to go here, and everybody will start getting to the grid. One of the things I like about this track, Sam, is really the speed you can carry into the turns. We should see some good side-by-side battles here early while they try and get things sorted out. But again, it'll be all about trying to get a little bit of heat in the tires to get us started.
Going back to the question we always discuss before the race begins, Sean, about the simspeedshop.com button boxes. What button would you like here tonight? You know what I'd like? I would like to have a button, and I guess I do have one. It's called the F2 button. That brings me the, not the relative, but the standings. That F2 button tells you where everyone else is running in the field. And for our Championship 4, sometimes we go to Darlington, or we go to a road course, or we go to a Bristol, and we say, race the racetrack, not the competitors. Worry about your race and making sure you don't hit the walls down. Here, it's completely opposite. You want to know where your competition is tonight. You are racing. If you're one of those Championship 4, you are racing the competition.
Sam, I've got to be honest with you. We're wearing out that F3 button. So I'm going to mix it up a little bit. Let me set a couple of buttons. I know it's one button, but let me set a left and right button on that simspeedshop.com button box so I can see who's around me. Watching the relatives, great, but I really want to know where they are tonight because, Sam, the last thing I want is any damage, any trouble.
Homestead, a very aerodynamically sensitive track with the amount of banking here in the turns. All right, qualifying is over right now. We're about to start gridding them up with William Hartman and Kevin Fetty on the front row, Mike Donahue and Daniel Jackson on row number 2. And the reason I took the first 2 rows there, Sean, is because I want to point out that we have 3 of our Championship 4 starting in the top 4.
Okay, Sam, I'll take row 3. It's going to be Sean Callist in the number 43. And Jeff Martin in the number 15 starts 6th on the outside.
Yeah, and on row number 4 here, we have Michael Dullard with our 4th of our Championship 4, and that's Judd Danielson back there in 8th place.
All right, and in row 5, it's going to be Ray Richer, just missing out on that, getting into the championship there by finishing 6th at Phoenix, and the number 44, Robert McFarland, with us tonight in the double lot. He'll start on the outside in 10.
Mark McFadden is starting in 11th. Jeremy Crandall, the only driver not to serve a time, will actually be starting 12th because William Davis, you see him there slotted to start in 13th place. He's not actually in the server right now. It's already down to a 12-truck field, Sean. And normally I'd say, well, what does that mean now? Points implication-wise, obviously tonight it doesn't mean anything. We could have 4 trucks racing tonight and their goal will remain the same.
Sam, the goal is win. You are absolutely right. And boy, who's going to do it tonight? You know, William Hartman had a really great qualifying lap. Let's see what the field's got for him. All of our championship contenders, I'm sure, are just filled with anticipation right now. Hopefully they're not too nervous. 132 laps here, nothing to shake its stick at. They'll need their focus for all of those as they roll off the pit road now, Sam, with the lights extinguished on the pace car. Let's get ready to roll, buddy.
You know, you see here on the pace lap, they can cut straight up onto the track out of pit road during the race, so they'll have to go on the apron all the way through turns 1 and 2, and likewise when they're coming in, all the way through turns 3 and 4. Let's take a quick look at our race analysis before we get the green flag here. We mentioned there's 3 stages for today's race. First 2 stages, 33 laps. Final stage, 66 laps. Those stage points will still mean something for everyone 5th on back in the points who may be racing for a couple more positions. But as for the Championship 4 that we'll be focusing mainly on tonight, it doesn't mean anything. Stages mean breaks.
Stages mean breaks. I like that, Sam. That's exactly it. Stages mean just a break to get off the track, get some tires, get some fuel. Here we go, bud.
All right, well, for all of those about to race, we salute you as we have all season long. Let's put on one last final great show here at Homestead. William Hartman and Kevin Fetty lead the field away into turn 1. Nice start by both of them. 3 of our 4 championship contenders starting up on the high side. Hartman, the only one down low. He's able to use that to get the launch down the back straight, take the lead. Mike Donoghue, who was eliminated from the playoffs recently, well, he's trying to get second from Fetty, but Fetty holding on strong up high in turns 3 and 4.
Well, Sam, we got a good start. Everybody behaving themselves here so far as the heat starts to build up on the tires here into the second lap. Callis fighting hard down on the bottom, but everybody passing him on the top side here back of the field. Callis already dropped to 8th from that 5th spot. Ray Richard coming around on the outside in the 44.
Callis fading back. Richard wants to make a statement here after just missing out on making Championship 4. He wants to show that he could have been champion had he made it through to this round with a win here tonight.
You know, Sam, Kevin Fetty up there in second. He's off to a good start, actually. He's put some distance between himself and Jackson after dropping him on the start. And that Savage Drive, number 94 truck, the Chevrolet Silverado, making pretty good progress here early.
Worth noting now, top 3 right now are 3 of our playoff contenders. The 4th one is back in 6th place right now, Judd Danielson, but for how much longer? He's thinking about taking 5th from Jeff Martin. Not going to happen. Although I remember a couple of years back, Sean, I think that's when Jimmy Johnson got his final championship today. He spent most of the race running 4th of the Championship 4, only to capitalise at the end and break through when the others ran into trouble. So things definitely not impossible yet for Danielson.
No, but he's got to get around the meat wagon first. I don't know if you'd picked up that paint scheme on Jeff Martin's truck, but yeah, that's the meat wagon. Hauling the mail there in that Chevy Silverado. Martin in 5th. Just riding behind Mike Donoghue at the moment.
Hauling the mail or hauling the meatloaf?
Well, hauling both, Sam. I can't get over the name of the truck, the sponsor. You know what? Michael Duller, someone that we've come used to seeing move up into the leaders, really not making any progress here. Sam, he's kind of stuck back there in 7th in no man's land right now. Callis, after dropping those spots, I'm wondering if Callis just didn't want to be up in the mix and maybe just backed off of it a bit to get out of that long race ahead of us, It
is, and we're very, barely into it right now. We're only on lap 6. The whole field covered by 5 seconds. But what I want to make a note of is that Mark McFadden has really dropped off at the back. And I wonder if that's intentional. Could he be thinking perhaps of being kind on these tyres and maybe, trying to ride these tyres out the first couple stages, save an extra set for the final stage?
Yeah, that may be the wise play. And talking about wise play, Danielson starting to kind of ratchet things up here a bit. Martin up the track, and he is now stuck behind 70. Almost makes contact there with Judd Danielson as they come across the line. Danielson looking to take the spot from the bottom. Can he keep the momentum there? I think that groove is starting to come in. Danielson's able to make the truck turn, and he's going to, slide right up in front of Martin. Martin's going to try and cross him over, maybe into 3. And no, he's going to stay in line. So there's one for Danielson.
Yes, so Danielson up to 5th. If he gets by Donahue, then our Championship 4 will indeed be running 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. And as much as I'm sure Danielson would love that, Sean, he'd love to be up there, with his Championship rivals within, reaching distance, within striking range. At the same time, he's got 120 laps or so to get there. He can't afford to be too aggressive making these moves and damage his truck.
Well, I talked about that in the beginning, the damage, right? That you just got to avoid it tonight. If you have any chance to win this, it's got to happen with a truck, an undamaged truck. Is Danielson riding up on... as we're on board with Martin, and Danielson riding up on the 70 there of Mike Donahue. Another one of our great sponsors from this season, LeftyPro.com, right in front of us there on the Judd Danielson truck.
We really appreciate all that those sponsors have done throughout the year. Weren't able to cover the full truck series here on the GSRC. Sean picked it up in the middle of the season, and we've enjoyed what we've had out here throughout the course of the year. And even though William Hartman has been a dominant driver in the last few rounds, it's worth noting Kevin Fetty still within a second of him after the opening 10 laps.
Yeah, I talked about this a little while ago, Sam. Fetty is doing a good job at the moment, and this is not a bad spot to sit. I mean, we know there's going to be an end of a stage, so nothing lost by riding behind the leader at the moment. You said it in the beginning and said it well. Stages are nothing more than breaks tonight. So, yeah, I like what Fetty's doing here. I mean, he's almost opened it up to his second on Daniel Jackson.
Yes, the top 3 have really spread out, and then after Donahue and Danielson, things get a little bit more bunched up back to 10th place, and then McFarland and McFadden have dropped off a little bit on the tail end. So midfield still tight together here. And remember, this first stage is 33 laps long. We're approaching the halfway point of that. But I do have to start wondering, Sean, if these tyres are going to start fading soon. And it is not uncommon here at Homestead, unfortunately, to see drivers get up into the wall exiting turns 2 or turns 4.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. I just wonder, though, Sam, right now at the pace we've seen, is anybody driving that hard at the moment? I think everybody's got a decent set of tires to run with here, and maybe Sean Callis is one of them that's got better tires than anybody because of what he did in the beginning. He doesn't need to step on it yet. He's got a little bit of time here still, but we'll see if that truck gets any faster. He's got Duller in front of him. who, as I said before, didn't appear to be moving up through the field at all. Still right where he started, but again, he may be saving his tires too here for the end of the stage. Maybe some bragging rights at stake here as Callis looks to the inside across the line and down into turn 1.
So if this has been Callis' strategy, is this when he starts to take advantage of his slightly better tires, where he's not going to be able to do it that way when, you know, with the truck of Dullard on his outside there, he has to turn the wheel more to keep it down low. It'll scrub off some of the good on those good years. We'll try again next time around.
Boy, Callis riding right into the wake, and then he jumps to the inside in the middle of the turn, and that was the move he needed right there, but now he's going to lose the momentum off. It got tight on him. Dullard comes back around up against the wall. So the top, that upper line right now seems to be where you really get the great exit and the momentum. Now, Dullard, maybe his entry a little bit too high to start off. Can he drive it down off the hill and still stay ahead of Callis? He does. So Dullard's got the truck handling pretty well at the moment, Sam.
Yeah, he does, but he's still in 8th place, and I'm sure he would like a bit more than that as he continues to try and work on that 31 truck in front of him. Things getting a little bit dicey for 4th again, with Danielson closing back in on Donahue as they come around to complete lap 17, halfway in this opening stage.
Sam, you know what else has happened? Daniel Jackson has started to catch Kevin Fetty. It was about a second. It was just under a second here a little while ago, maybe 4 or 5 laps ago when we talked about it. Here comes Daniel Jackson in his Tundra. He has now put it down to half a second. And maybe Daniel was doing a little bit of tire saving himself as he does continue to close the gap here.
Danielson has a run here, and this could be the moment that the statisticians have been waiting for. Lap number 19. Now Championship 4. Now run 1, 2, 3, and 4. Danielson, the biggest move of them all, starting 8th and up to 4th. But he is about 3 seconds back of our race leader, William Hartman. And now Donahue's got to be careful about not losing another spot to Jeff Martin here.
Comes the meat wagon. With a move to the inside and into 1. Can Donahue drive it off the top like we've seen everybody else do? No, he's going to settle to get inside, maybe try and cross him over here down the back stretch. Not so much. Martin with a really, really good drive. Or I'm sorry, yeah, Jeff Martin with a really good drive there off turn 2, Sam.
Yeah, I would say that pass by the meat wagon was well done.
Oh, he really messed up painting that truck like that this evening. I just... there's so many references we can make, Sam, and many we probably shouldn't.
A bit of internet connection issues here for Daniel Jackson in 3rd place. This is not good news for one of our Championship 4. And I'm seeing the quality of his internet connection right now being shown in the red around the 60s. You want that number to be around 100. Good news is it's making a comeback. It's rising back up to the 70s now. And now it's not red anymore, it's yellow. So that's a good sign. But it's not a good sign that it happened to begin with, Sean. It means it could always happen again.
Yeah, it could, and it could wind up being a problem throughout the race. So you'll be cautious to when you get there and drive around him.
Well, he hasn't backed off at all. I think sometimes when drivers have connection issues like that, you know, they'll back on down a little bit, make sure they don't run into the truck ahead of them while they're lagging about the place. Jackson's kept his foot in it and has rammed Fetty down for second.
Sam Callis back here looking to make a move here on Dullard. Finally, Callis might even get a little bit of help from behind by Ray Richer in the 44.
And Jackson's making a move for second over in turns 1 and 2. I doubt he'll pull it off because he's going to lose the momentum on the exit here. Sure enough, he gets very loose on the exit, in fact. He's going to lose a bunch of time, maybe even risk losing third place to Judd Danielson coming up high.
Sam, what was that you said about tires maybe starting to go away just a little bit?
I didn't think Jackson would be one of those, though. I mean, he had been running Fetty down the last couple of laps. I was thinking he might have been saving his tires early.
Well, here we are on board with Jackson here.
I think, I mean, it doesn't look like an aggressive move.
Yeah, no.
For Sean, but I mean, for lack of a better term, you know, that seemed like what it was. Making a move down the inside, late in the corner. It wasn't ambitious or anything, but just meant he had to hit the gas a bit hard on the exit of a turn, pinch your wheel down a little bit too much, and the truck says, no, I'm sorry, Daniel, I don't like that. Now, battle for 7th brewing again, Sean.
Yeah, it is, but boy, I think Callis' only real chance to get around him is to get to his outside, and I don't think Dullard's going to let that happen. He keeps blocking off that part of the track, and Callis just can't seem to get things going there on the bottom. But that was a mistake. That was a legitimate mistake by Dullard that time. Too high, up against the wall, loses his momentum. Here comes Ray Richer, going to try and take the spot. Callis gets back into the groove, though. Might be able to hang on to this off the exit of 2. And he does. But Sean Callis gets around and gets himself back into 7. He's still got a couple of spots to climb the ladder here to get back to where he started. Donahue all of a sudden up here in the 70 looking very slow, Sam. Callis is closing on him at an enormous rate.
Yeah, Donahue, the 70 truck might be easy pickings for Callis here. So this is interesting, Sean, because I was about to say that seems like being aggressive early in the run actually pays off, because even though your tires wear off, it's hard. Yeah, and you see Callis swerving around there. It's hard for the trucks behind to make a pass.
Yeah, no, it is, Sam. Definitely. Callis trying to go back at this here, though. Yeah, he's not going to get to turn 1 before Donahue does.
Meanwhile, as we watch this, about for second is closing in as well. Fetty and Jackson again. Jackson might have another chance to get that by the end of stage 1, which is actually coming up very quickly as the battle for 7th continues in 3 and 4.
It does. Dullard was trying to get it back. Nothing doing. Not yet. Callis still in control of this, and honestly, that 70 truck sitting right in front of there, Mike Donahue, kind of a roadblock at the moment. Neither one of them. I'm gonna go back up to the front. Sam, battle for second is on.
Fetty up high, Jackson down low. This did not end up working for Jackson last time he attempted it over in turns 1 and 2. What about on the XL4 here? He opens the wheel up and into the wall goes Fetty. Wow, big unforced error. He had a lot of racetrack. It's not like Jackson forced him up there. And the first big mistake we've really seen out of one of our Championship 4. And we'll watch a replay of what happens to Fetty here. I mean, he just... I guess he just didn't think he had as much room as he did. Now, let's keep it on this though, because then watch what happens to Daniel Jackson over in turns 1 and 2 down here. He gets very loose, and this allows Judd Danielson to pull up on the outside of him. And now as we come back to live action, Danielson has actually used that high line, and he just made the move stick for second place.
He did. He made it stick, but he almost lost it out of 2. Also, the rear end started to come around. He able to get it back in line and correct it, but he does get around Jackson, finds himself here in second.
With 1 lap left to go in the stage. So, our Championship 4 still running 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hartman's still in first, Jackson's still in third, but Danielson has gone from 4th to 2nd, and Fetty has gone from 2nd to 4th. But the biggest news of all, Sean, Fetty's truck does not look the same as what it did at the drop of a green flag.
Nope. And that, well, you know what though, Sam? Maybe an opportunity to get that damage fixed. Now, it's going to cost him. He'll have to sit in the pit maybe for a little bit longer. And here, I'm sorry. Let me shut up. It's the end of the stage, Sam.
Yep, William Hartman leads that lap number 33. The yellow flag goes out in the air. And Callis was able to hold on to 7th ahead of Richard. And Dullard actually finishes that in 9th. Actually, I think we missed something here. Looks like Dullard ran into some trouble himself. Some damage on the front right fender of a 31 truck.
You know what, Sam? He did. On that last lap, he slid it right up into the wall coming out of 4. And let's see, Callis, Richard, they both got by him.
So, 100 laps to go in 2 stages. William Hartman wins stage 1. What does that mean? Nothing. Okay, I'll take that back. What does it mean? It means he gets to lead them into the pits. So, he's the driver everyone else will be trying to beat coming out of pit road. Because right now, track position is key. And the fact that Judd Danielson moved from 4th to 2nd in the final few laps at the end of stage number 1, well, that's put Judd Danielson in prime position to try and jump Hartman during this pit stop.
Yeah, let's see what Judd's got. Maybe he gambles here, takes a couple of tires. I don't know. We'll see.
Hartman, Danielson, Jackson, Fetty. Winning the B-Class Championship right now is Treff Martin, running in 5th position. Alright, does everyone hit their marks?
Well, William Hartman sure did.
He's taking tyres. I expect all the leaders to take 4 tyres.
Sam, I think everybody hit their box clean. Danielson away, and he does not get him at the line. Jackson comes out in 3rd, Sam. But William Hartman, that number 1 pit stall, comes out first.
Jeremy Crandall in the pits for an excessive period of time. He does have a bit of damage on his 73 truck. And bad news here for Mark McFadden in the 48. He took tyres. He actually almost went a lap down during the stage. And I was hoping, Sean, and that's because of some kind of strategy call that he was playing and not do the pace. But unfortunately, he took 4 tyres. So that tells me he's just a bit off the pace here at Homestead.
Maybe so. The Lord Co. Auto Parts Chevrolet is here representing tonight's sponsor. And actually, Mark's been running that paint scheme all season, if I remember correctly. But yeah, the Canadian right now maybe needs a little bit of luck on his side. But right now the truck is out of trouble, and that's good. Everything, all the body panels, everything looks straight. So maybe he's just taking it easy, Sam. Maybe just holding off, saving his strategy for the win tonight. Maybe looking for an upset of these championship drivers.
You know, the good news about everyone being on the lead lap still, Sean, is that we have very short cautions. Pace car lights already off. About to start stage number 2 on lap 37. Maybe we'll be able to run it all the way to lap 66 when stage number 2 will come to an end.
Well, we're ready. The trucks are ready. The drivers are ready. The pace car is definitely ready. Wheel and light bar has been extinguished on the Ford Mustang GT. And I'm ready to go back to racing, Sam.
As our Championship 4 taking up the first 2 rows, William Hartman has elected to restart on the bottom side. That's why he started the race, and he was able to lead through turns 1 and 2. This time he gets a nice jump on the rest of the field, and he'll be able to pull up high if he wants to, but I don't think he will, Sean. It looks like as they build up speed on these restarts, the inside lane is a desired lane because they can still do it flat out.
Yeah, I think you're right, Sam. That's the trend we've seen now here with the start and this restart. Boy, Daniel Jackson got a mighty run there into turn 3. And he's still having connection problems. He's disappeared on me, Sam.
Not good news for Jackson, and especially for those drivers racing around him, and I have a feeling race control will be talking to him about that.
They have. They've notified him. And
he might be coming to the pits here. No, he's just dropping off. Okay, so this is bad news for Jackson, obviously. He's dropped to the apron to make sure he doesn't get involved in the collision, and that's going to cost him all his track position. The good news is his connection is coming back, so it's not going to completely do him in. But obviously, with these championship rivals running 1, 2, 3 right now, this is not where Jackson wants to be.
Yeah, no, and he's gotten off to a really strong start there on the restart here for stage 2. And Jed Danielson doesn't have to worry about him now. He's actually starting to pull away from Jeff Martin here a little bit. Race control talking to Daniel Jackson now, just asking him to keep an eye on his connection, and everything seems to have settled down. So good news for him. He's moving back here in the field, and he's got to catch Jeremy Crandall right now, and the driver we really haven't talked about much at all, Sam. Crandall now sitting in 9th. He did start 12th tonight, so he's moving a little bit.
Yeah, he's been moving since the restart, because remember, he had that extended pit stop. It cost him a couple of positions while he got some repairs done to that 73 machine. Meanwhile, one of our, I said our championship contenders were running 1, 2, 3. That's not true. It's 1, 2, 4. Jeff Martin has moved up ahead of Kevin Fetty for 3rd place. Wonder if that damage is affecting Fetty at all.
Yeah, I don't think so, Sam. I just don't think he wants to fight hard at the moment. But the meat wagon makes another move. Gets himself up into 3rd. And I honestly think Fetty's just going to ride here. Take care of the truck and ride. You can't afford another incident with the wall.
Yeah, well, we mentioned the meat wagon a lot tonight, so we'll give a shout out to Kevin Fetty's truck as well, who's battling him. Has a Canadian flag on it. Canada is a country. It's a very big country.
Yeah, and his teammate right behind him in the same truck adorned with the American and Canadian flags. The Savage Drive Motorsports team.
There we go. We just learned something about Canada. There's more than 2 people there. All right, here we go. Martin and Fetty side by side as they come out of turn 4. Fetty down low, which doesn't seem to be, hasn't been really the desired line to try and make positions tonight, but Fetty's going to try and prove us wrong. You
know what Canada's national slogan is? Our country is colder than yours. Yes, exactly. Sam, they're scrambling back here a little bit. Now Donahue got him a little bit backed up right behind him. Dullard, Callis. Watch out here. Callis going to try and make this bottom groove work into this run. About 9 laps into it, and Callis is trying to burn it up a little bit there on the bottom. He's side by side with Dullard here down the backstretch.
I wonder if this is Callist's response to what happened in the first stage, where he faded back early and he had difficulty working his way back up through the field, even though we think he had fresher tyres. I wonder if he's realised, okay, if I want track position in this race, I've got to get it early on in the stage.
Yeah, we'll go back to Fetty here.
Yep, Fetty, who advanced into the Championship 4 by winning the tiebreaker against Ray Richer last time out at Phoenix. Keep checking the YouTube chat, Sean. We haven't offended anyone from Canada yet, unless they already left.
No, big props to the great country of Canada, eh?
Hold on a second, we got a problem here, Sean. Jeremy Crandall's in the pits.
I'm trying to see what happened here, Sam. I don't have an explanation for it yet here. What happened with Crandall?
He's out of the race.
Yeah, he had obviously some sort of a connection issue there. He must have been aware of it and took himself out of the race.
Oh, Michael Dullard tried to make a move on Mike Donoghue down low in turns 1 and 2, and it really washed his truck up on exit. He's able to hold on to 6th place at least. But this battle for 3rd rages on in turn number 3 as they come around to complete lap 49. Our second caution coming out at the very latest at lap 66 for stage 2. So these drivers have 17 laps to figure it out.
Oh, Daniel Jackson gets by Sean Callis. We missed that.
Yeah, it just happened. Jackson trying to work his way back up through the field after having some connection issues himself earlier.
Yeah, it was Jackson actually going to the inside in turn 2. He just got around him, and Callis just could not cross him over there. We'll keep on this battle here for 3rd because it's been a good one. They may ride this all the way to the end of the stage, Sam.
Yeah, Fetty really trying to be aggressive down low there, but that's kind of what he's got to do. I'm sure if he had the preference, Sean, he'd try and make a move stick up high. I have a feeling that's the desired lane to be, at least when you're side by side. But of course, Martin's just not going to give that to him.
Okay, Sam, it's time to lay off Canada. We do have some ejection. The league has been threatened. Oh boy! Oh, hang on a second. I'm sorry about that. Dullard had a really scary moment there. He was all over the back of Mike Donoghue. That truck got wicked and out of shape, and now he's going to lose the spot, or at least maybe Daniel Jackson going to get by him here. Let's look at this on the replay. Wow, Dullard really almost loses this thing, Sam.
Watching from above as they go down into turns 3 and 4 on our replay here. Dullard, the one up there on the high side.
Yeah, he's going to get a run at Donoghue, and that run is going to get a little bit too close and a little bit too fun. And, boy, again, Dullard does a great job of just keeping it in control.
Yeah, to the point of Canada, Sean, anyone in the YouTube chat has a right to make fun of me during the broadcast when I'm calling the race.
You know, I'm a fan of not starting international incidents, so we're good. Man, as these guys continue to battle back here.
Yeah, this is an international incident in itself with Martin running alongside Fetty here. Oh, and almost another one right behind us. Daniel Jackson went to the inside of Mike Donoghue entering turn 1.
Sam, these guys mean business now. Boy, the way they're bunched up, it almost looks like a race at Talladega coming down the backstretch.
Yeah, it does, and it's because this battle for third has been going on for so long. They've been running side by side like this and slowing each other up, but everyone behind's kind of close back in. And for a note about the international incident, Kevin Fetty is from the Virginias. He just has Canada on his flag and now on his truck, and now he has third position as he's finally able to close the door on Jeff Martin.
Yeah, well, Martin got into the back of there of Kevin Fetty, and it checked him up, and wow, Martin's not been the same since. Here comes Jackson.
Yes, and maybe this is why Fetty made the move a bit more aggressive there. He saw his fourth of a championship for competitors making his way through the field, because if Jackson can find his way by Martin, we will have our championship 4 once again running 1, 2, 3, 4. Right now they're 1, 2, 3, 5 errors into the wall. Behind them goes Dullard.
Man, they thought they were going to try and make it 3 wide here, and Donahue gets out of it just a little bit, says, no, let me let him go here. I'll just sit back here in a popcorn position and watch these two slug it out. The poutine position, Sam, as our director appropriately called it.
They come across the line, 8 laps left to go to the end of stage 2. Jackson not able to pull off a pass. I'm sure Jackson's still a bit frustrated at having to drop back there to begin with, knowing that he has pace to keep up with Hartman, although so far today we haven't seen anyone who has the pace to beat Hartman.
Really hasn't looked that way, Sam, has it? I haven't seen a truck in the field that is as competitive. I'm just being honest and being real with everybody. He's continued to outpace Judd Danielson, who's got a fast truck himself, but not as fast as Hartman. Hartman is really dialed in here tonight. Obviously has put in the preparation. Okay, well, Danielson was a 10th faster last lap.
Yeah, but he's about 2 seconds back, so not sure how much it's going to count for, and it looks like Hartman's actually pulled away from him a bit this lap. Meanwhile, Martin continues to hold on to 4th, and I'm sure Jackson would love to get by him. The main reason being because when they come in for tyres at the end of stage number 2, Jackson will want to come into the pits in 4th place so that he has track position for the pit stop, so that he can try and leapfrog Fetty and Danielson, or maybe even Hartman, if he hits his marks perfectly in the pits. First, he's got to find a way by that 15 truck. I think Dullard was in the wall back there in turn 4 again, but we'll continue to watch this scrap over a bit of meat here for 4th place.
Yeah, Dullard did get a small piece of it again, Sam, and that right front damage. Truck really still loose on him. He's fighting the wheel.
As they come out of turn 4.
Wow. Martin, all kinds of loose there off the top of the turn. It's getting a little greasy out there on track, Sam.
Indeed. Oh, and too greasy for Jackson. He almost loses it. Well, we're giving a shout out to the sponsors. A shout out to the NASCAR Diecast Lounge riding on the 84 of Daniel Jackson, who almost dented up his full-size diecast truck here.
Yeah. He caught it. He caught it. I don't want to have to catch it too many times. You know what I mean? Well, Jackson getting the run at Martin here.
2.5 laps left to go to the stage. Daniel Jackson, as we mentioned, riding with NASCAR Diecast Lounge, who sponsored a race or two for us earlier on in the season. We appreciate them, as well as all of the sponsors who have made this series happen. And I'm sure Daniel Jackson, just like us, has enjoyed the tough competition out here this season. And right now, I'm sure he would enjoy a lot more if Jeff Martin were to go behind him. He's got 1.5 laps left to try and find a way by.
Man. How many laps have these two been at it, Sam? It's just been half a dozen at least, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is what we saw from Jeff Martin with Kevin Fetty as well. It took Fetty forever and an eternity to make his way on by. Eventually he did. William Hartman, meanwhile, comes out at turn 4. Oh, contact!
Okay, Jackson wraps it, man. He was up in the wall.
Well, so now Jackson and Fetty both going to be sporting a little bit of damage for the final stage. Although it doesn't seem to have affected Fetty too much throughout that stage. He scraped the wall in stage number 1, but finishes stage 2 in 3rd place.
Yeah, I'd say Kevin recovered really well, Sam, to put himself where he is.
Alright. And now we start the final stage, Sean. And on the day where we should be talking about William Hartman a lot, and we'll be talking a lot about him post-race if he's able to take home a championship, we really haven't mentioned him a whole lot today. He's been absolutely dominating the competition, also smoking the competition in the case of Jeff Martin there. And, I mean, there's not a lot his competition can do right now. Everyone's going to want 4 tires.
Yeah, no, there's really not much they can do, Sam. They can be faster, but it doesn't seem like, at least for the first 2 stages, nobody's figured out how to be faster. I don't have a magic answer to it, to be honest with you. Hartman is just, I said this earlier, he's just dialed in tonight.
Well, the easiest way for them to put Hartman back would be for the driver of that 67 to make a mistake himself. The easiest way for Hartman to screw up is to overshoot his pit box right here. But he's a pro. He ain't going to do that.
Uh-oh. Donahue, trouble in his box. Jackson with trouble also, Sam.
Not what Jackson is going to want at all, as Hartman wins the race off of pit road ahead of Danielson, Fetty, Martin. Jackson still gets out in 5th despite the mistake in his pit stall.
Sam? Judd Danielson's team is hustling. Those over the wall, boys. Getting that truck in and out of that pit stop really, really quick. 17's going to restart on the outside of that front row. That is, of course, if William takes bottom. And Sam, I guess we're going to get a chance to see if that trend continues here.
Still, all 11 drivers in the race on the lead laps. I have a feeling the lights will go off on the pace car this time by. Jeremy Crandall started 12th. He's out. Robert McFarland only just able to exit his pit stall before the pace car comes around, so he'll stay on the lead lap. We are going to get an extra lap of caution. We're going to take a quick break here on the GSRC, but the restart's only a couple moments away, so we'll be back very shortly. Welcome back to the Lordco 200, the season finale for the 2018 SSCA Sim Speed Shop Truck Series. Sean, final stage about to start. They all have to make one stop. William Hartman has been in control of the field all night long. Does it go without question that Danielson, Fetty, and also Jackson, who's further back in the field now, he's all the way down in 11th, would you say that they're going to have to short pit in order to get ahead of Hartman?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think it's simple. I think it's simple. That's simple math, Sam. I'm saying simple math. I'm sorry. No, Sam, I think that's got to be the plan. They got any chance.
All right, well, here we go. Hartman once again gets a really nice restart. Doesn't change lanes before the start-finish line. And honestly, no need to. The inside lane is the fastest way through turns 1 and 2. And that might actually play to the advantage of Kevin Fetty underneath Judd Danielson as they come out of turn 2. As Mark McFadden, you saw down below the apron on the restart, fading all the way back to the back. And up in the wall was Mike Donoghue.
Oh, no.
Turn 3 and 4 there.
Donoghue, all of a sudden, struggling. No explanation.
Oh, Jackson trying to clear him here. Jackson after his bad cycle in the pits. I'm guessing he got some kind of speeding penalty that set him back there. So up front it's Hartman, Danielson, Fetty, 3 of our championship 4. Then it's Martin holding on ahead of Ray Richer, who gained several positions during his pit stop, but now fading back a bit. Michael Dullard likewise. We saw him in the wall a couple of times in stage 2, but right now he's got track position after our stage 2 caution. Can he keep it? As Callist is behind him in 7th, and Jackson now up to 8th ahead of Donoghue. Start lap number 75. Still scrapping for positions in the middle of the field. And Jackson not able to pull away very much from Donoghue, back in 8th place.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but that truck's crippled. Now, that right front damage is going to be awful tough for Daniel to overcome, Sam. It's obviously affecting the top-end speed on the truck.
Not what Jackson wants for this final stage. Going to make it very difficult to win the championship for him. Not impossible though. 11 trucks still in race, still on the lead lap. Jeremy Crandall started this race, retired earlier on. William Davids did not start. As we mentioned, we got 4 drivers racing for a championship out here. The other 7 racing for a win. The highest non-championship driver right now, Jeff Martin, running in 4th place. Although maybe not for much longer.
Yeah, he's got his hands full right now as Dullard is pulled up his Toyota next to him. And the meat wagon has got a bit of a challenge on its hands. He's able to power it off the top, groove, and keep himself in front of Michael Dullard. Dullard's had a bit of an up and down night, but the truck still seems to be a bit competitive, Sam.
Yeah, some trucks have scraped the wall a couple of times and got away with it. Case in point, Dullard. Some drivers not as lucky. Case in point, Jackson. For Dullard, under pressure now from Ray Richer and Sean Callist. Those 2 running in 6th and 7th, right behind him. These laps are going to start clicking off in a hurry, Sean, and everyone still needs to make one more stop.
Yeah, and they already are clicking off in a hurry, Sam. We've gone well past the halfway point of the race, and, well, drivers are now 10 laps into this stint here, this final stage since the restart. And we've got a ways to go before anybody needs fuel. Our leader, William Hartman, sitting out there having a nice casual drive around the track. He's got all that clean air in front of him, Sam, which makes all the difference in the world. And I think if Danielson keeps his current pace and keeps that distance, I think he's got pretty much the same track conditions as Hartman's got up there. And he should be able to keep the distance between him and Kevin Fetty at the moment. Danielson can ill afford a mistake, but he's been awful good. And you know what? In fact, Danielson, I'm almost going to say he's been pretty flawless tonight, Sam. He's taking care of his business just like William Hartman is up there in the lead.
But even though Danielson isn't far back of Hartman, let's not overlook the fact that we're only about 15 laps into this final stage, Sean, and he's opened up a second on him. Hartman won stage 2 by 2.5 seconds over Danielson. So if you're not careful about losing a 10th here and a 10th there, it can easily build up.
Yeah, it can easily build up, and well, the further you let them get away, the tougher it's going to be to really outgun them. Strategy's not going to help you if you let them get, 10, 15 seconds up the track from you. We're going to get a full fuel run here, Sam. And I don't know. I just have a feeling that William Hartman's going to run this all the way out to the end of the fuel.
Well, and we're watching the battle for fourth here. Martin ahead of Dullard, Rich Callis getting a bit ambitious there. Mike Donoghue in 8th, Daniel Jackson all the way back in 9th, far behind us trucks right now. I don't know if I agree with that, Sean. And to me, track position has been quite critical today. Hartman's got to know that his competitors behind him are going to play a bit of strategy and try and beat him. I think he can't be ignorant of that. He can't afford to fall back to second place.
Well, could that be happening right now? Danielson's laps have been pretty good. It's still right at about a second. I don't think he's fallen back yet, honestly. I don't think there's any real proof. It's close. I mean, they are really separated right now by every lap, anywhere between a tenth to 2/10 of a second, plus or minus either way. So, I mean, like I said before, I think if Danielson holds this spot and keeps that distance right about where it's at, he'll continue to turn fast enough laps to just stay at that second and continue to drop Fetty as Fetty is continuing to tail off. It's now down to 1.3 seconds back to Fetty.
With Daniel Jackson already 6 seconds back off the lead and a little bit off the pace off of the top 3, it's safe to say that unless a caution comes out, Jackson isn't exactly a threat for the championship right now. Now, of course, he could very easily still be a threat for the championship, but it will take a caution, which, given the way this battle for 4th through 8th is going on, is quite a real possibility. But it does make things a bit easier for our top 3. Oh, as off goes Ray
Richard.
Yeah,
big trouble for Richard there.
But it does make things a bit easier for top 3 right now. The fact that there's one less truck, at least as of right now, that they have to worry about. Get a replay here on Richard's ride out of turn 2.
Well, it's a scary one, and I think he just maybe got a little bit of the apron down there, possibly. It's not the first time we've seen that tonight. In fact, I think it's like the 3rd time we've seen it. But when we come back live, this battle heating up here for 4th. Donoghue looking to the bottom. Dullard going to get left out on the top side, stuck behind Martin. Martin puts his foot in it off the turn, a little loose, little wiggle out of the rear end of the wheat wagon. Dullard back there trying to come around Donoghue.
Dullard, though, got very close to the wall off of turn 4. I wonder if he's starting to overdrive the exits as we get deep into the run again. Yeah, but look at that. Slides up and into Donahue.
He caught it. And he caught it.
Just able to save it.
Wow. Great job, Mike Dullard. Wow.
Well, great job on saving it, but not great job on causing it. It really seems he has difficulty on the exits of the corners as they go deep into the run.
You can see the truck drift up the track just a little bit and makes slight contact, but he bounces off, gets out of the way, gets out of the throttle. It'll cost him a few positions, but it didn't cost him the truck, Sam.
Now, I wonder if Jackson was hoping that there would be a wreck in front of him so that he could get a caution that I think he needs. Or if he's glad it didn't happen because he wouldn't have had much ways to go.
Sam, you know what's happened up front? Nothing. Danielson still at a second. Kevin Fetty, though, now 2.3 seconds back behind Judd Danielson. So what I talked about before is kind of happening here. They're managing to drop Fetty and get him out of this mix.
Dullard in the wall pretty hard out of 4 this time.
Yeah, and he was up in it for a while. He had trouble getting it down off the wall and lets all his competitors get by. Here we go on the replay. I think Mike's entry was just too high to begin with and just didn't get out of the throttle enough, and the truck rolls up into the wall. She's pushing like a dump truck, Sam.
So as they come around, put 91 of 132 laps on the book. In the books, I wonder if we are going to start seeing some short pitting take place very shortly here, Sean.
Sam, you're creating a difficult work environment behind the scenes this evening. I just want to let you know, okay?
Martin, Donahue, Richer, Callist, and Jackson, who is up into 8th place now after Michael Dullard's issues that gave Jackson an extra position. Mark McFadden, the first to come in. He was way off the pace, so I'm not sure this can help him.
Jackson is just still trying to manage an ill-handling truck back there. Sam, he is loose off just about every turn. That one, he got 4 together that time, but boy, just that Toyota Tundra just doesn't look safe right now.
The good news for Jackson is it does look like he's run down that pack in front of him. I think he was much further back a little while ago. The bad news for him is that pack right in front of him is about 4 seconds back of Fetty.
Yeah, nowhere near the front.
Yeah, I don't care how fast Jackson is. He's not going to make that up without a yellow.
Or a cape. Just saying. Martin.
I think capes create aerodynamic drag. Go ahead.
Not on Superman. Mike Donahue really loose off as he was trying to make a move on Jeff Martin, and that stalls the run. But boy, Donahue seems really set about trying to make it happen down there on the bottom. And he gets into the contact with Martin, and he's across the track.
Oh, Jackson gets clipped in the rear quarter panel into the inside wall. Goes one of our championship 4. Now he's going to be able to continue. It's a caution he was looking for, but not a caution he wanted to be in. Martin and Donahue have extensive damage.
Sam, Jackson's truck heavily damaged, actually. Here we see the contact. And Donahue comes back across the track, clips Jackson, sends him careening out of control, and it just destroyed the truck. On board with Jackson here, Sam. You see the damage he's already got there on the right front. It's going to get a lot worse, folks. Watch out. He almost misses that, Sam. I mean, he missed it by a bumper. Well, we're going to use the slow-mo this evening here. I said a bumper, Sam. Maybe a little bit more than a bumper, but not much. Wow.
Alright, here comes everyone into the pits. Obviously, Jackson will be getting all of as many repairs as he can done to his truck without losing a lap. He's got to try and stay on the lead lap in case something happens late on to our top three. Hartman leads Danielson and Fetty in. Now, Danielson left a big gap between himself and Hartman as they rolled in, so it should be an easy race to win off of pit road for 67. And perhaps the worst thing about this crash for Danielson and Fetty is it takes strategy out of a window, at least for now. It's going to make it that much tougher to beat Hartman. They're going to have to hope for a really late caution. Well. Plot time thickens as we enter the final 35 laps here of the Lord Co 200. Got a couple more laps of caution to run as we get the track fixed up. And we're going to take a quick break here on the GSRC. Hopefully bring you all the way back to the checkered flag. Hello and welcome back to Homestead for the Lord Co 200, the season finale of a 2018 SSCA Sim Speed Shop Truck Series, where 4 drivers are fighting for the championship. Whichever one of them finishes in front wins it. But unfortunately, time to make that 3 drivers. Daniel Jackson was in the latest crash. We wondered if he was going to be able to escape without too much damage and continue. Unfortunately, the driver of a number 84 has called it quits for tonight. A sad end to the championship for definitely one of the more entertaining drivers to watch this season. He took a win at Martinsville at the start of the season. Was able to get all the way down to the final round, Sean. Not going to walk away with the trophy.
Ooh. Hartman spins the tires there on the restart, Sam. Scary moment for William Hartman.
First time we've really seen a mistake out of him today, but still leads the race into turn 1. Fetty up to second. Danielson, not a good restart up high. He might even lose third to Ritra.
Well, that was an interesting restart.
Yeah, but he doesn't. So our top 3 remain now. Our 3 championship contenders remain now top 3. 31 laps left to go as they cross the line. If it stays green, this race will be over in 15 minutes. We'll have declared a champion in 15 minutes time. That's a big if. We've seen how much more aggressive the racing has been getting in these closing stages, and everyone still has one more set of good years that they can put on their trucks if we do get another caution.
Sam, you know what just struck me as really interesting on that restart? I think William Hartman's human. He spun the tires. I thought maybe he had the traction control fully engaged on that Toyota Tundra, and he spins the tires and maybe gives a sliver of hope to Kevin Fetty and Jed Danielson back there. And he just set the fastest lap of the race. I'll shut up.
Well, you say that as if it's a good thing, though, Sean. I mean, Hartman's been able to build up a gap over his competitors by using good restarts so far tonight. Now that he hasn't got one, that might cause him to have to drive a bit harder than he wants to in the short run here. I'm only creating drama, I really think.
Yeah,
there's no way to beat William Hartman, but still it's a possibility.
Man, we are trying to sap every ounce of drama out of this race we can, Sam.
Well, it wasn't too hard for us to do 5 laps ago, unfortunately, with what happened to Jackson. That's also sent Mike Donoghue multiple laps down, but he's been able to return to the track.
Danielson's got this run, but you know what? He's doing it from the lower side of the track. All he's got to do is stay with him here off the exit. Fetty's going to be strong, and he's going to get just by him.
I take that back. I was about to say I don't know why you want second. Because surely if you want another restart, it'd be better to restart in third place than second. But then I realised, hold on, you want second because if we do get another caution and everyone comes in the pits, the driver with the best chance to beat William Hartman out of pit road is the guy who comes in second.
Right, the guy behind him, exactly. That's a great point, Sam.
So you do want second. And right now, I think Fetty and Danielson have every right. They're duking out for that position because I'm not sure, at least from the indications we've had so far this race, that they're going to have a pace to run down and attempt to pass Hartman. So might as well race hard for that silver.
I'm not giving up on Danielson quite yet. Not quite yet. And maybe there's something left in that truck that he hasn't shown us yet this evening. Maybe he's been playing his cards close to the vest like any good poker player. But we've seen Danielson be faster than this, and I guess that's the kind of the point that I'm getting at. This all come down to these last 15 laps for Jed Danielson right now. Truck looks good, it looks stable, and it's still clean, Sam. He hasn't picked up anything here in this one. And that's me trying to create some drama. There you go.
Yeah, I think the drama, though, speaking for itself in the top left corner of your screen, that we're continuing to click off laps in a hurry here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway with William Hartman controlling the field as he has done so many races this year, particularly in the later races, winning the last 3 in a row. As a matter of fact, he has taken 6 wins this season out of the 22 events we have competed. That's quite impressive.
That's not a bad ratio, Sam. I'm not going to calculate what that ratio is, but it's not bad. Pretty good. I think, as some friends of mine back in Texas would say, that old dog will hunt. I'm being told a little less than a fourth.
27.27%, Sean.
There you go. Thank you. A little more than a fourth, obviously.
A little less than a third.
Watching the battle for fourth continuing to happen back here. You know what? We haven't talked about Ray Richard much, and there he is. He's in fourth. Callis is chasing him. This has been pretty solid from Ray, actually. He's got Callis is right up on him. Oh, he almost made contact. Oh, that was scary.
Richard seems has been one of those drivers who has been, I think, a bit more. That's Donahue they're going by. Richard has been a bit more aggressive, I think, in the shorter runs and fading back a little bit in the longer runs throughout tonight. Right now, it's working well for him. He's starting 9th and he's up to 4th, but I don't know if he's going to get a lot of pressure from Callis and Dullard behind him. Although, to be honest, Dullard, he just needs to make sure he doesn't get up in that wall on the outside again, because he's done that a few times tonight.
Sam, we've seen some great racing tonight. We've seen some great racing in the second half of the season, the Sim Speed Shop Truck Series. But it is winding down. Not much left here to go. William Hartman, I'll tell you what, Sam. Talk about great drivers. He's definitely been one of the great ones we've watched this season here in the Simulation Stock Car Association. And I'll tell you what, it'd be fitting if he does cap this off and gets a win. He's certainly earned it. This isn't a gimme.
I'm trying to work out how he has a 2500 iRating. Seems it should be a lot higher than that.
You know what, Sam? It could be a lot of league racing, and that sometimes is the simple fact with a lot of guys. They spend more time league racing than they do official racing, and their iRace, I don't want to say it suffers for it, but it certainly doesn't gain any momentum over time.
Meanwhile, second place,
yeah,
getting intense.
It is.
Petty right ahead of Danielson. 18 laps to go.
I knew Danielson was going to turn up the wick, but he's got to get around. He's got to clear Fetty if he's got any legitimate shot of somehow over these last 17 laps catching William Hartman. But I think what we're going to see, Sam, is what we've seen all night. It's going to be tough for Danielson to get around Fetty. It's going to take a long time. It could take anywhere from half a dozen to 10 laps. He's running out of time. Ray Richards actually closing. You certainly don't want to try to make that pass. You don't want to give up an additional spot. The hill just, I don't know, maybe too tough to climb unless we get a caution.
Yeah, I think Joe Johnson in our YouTube chat is putting it quite bluntly here right now, is that the race is for second. William Hartman's pretty much got the win and the championship locked down, unless a caution comes out. Jeff Martin, and there it is.
It was the meat wagon and Robert McFarland, a double aught. Yeah, it's the first time this evening, I think, that we've said anything about McFarland, and unfortunately, it's at the worst time. They both bring out the caution flag going side by side through 4. Here on the replay, there we go. Martin's going to get a run at McFarland, going to get under him here. And I'm afraid what happens is Martin's truck starts to move up the track. He gets into the side there of McFarland. Both are going to find themselves in the pit looking for damage repair. Neither one with much at stake. But, Sam, what has this done for the leaders of our race? They've all got another set of tires.
I think they've all got to come in for them.
I think so. I think they'll all do what Hartman does. And Hartman's not playing him close to the vest. He commits early. Yeah, everybody's coming in.
Does anyone dare take 2 tires?
Well, okay, so maybe this is where Judd Danielson takes a chance.
The biggest thing that could happen without anyone having to take a chance is if the 67 slide through his pit stall. Once again, Fetty just laying a bit too far back of Hartman. He needs to be right on these rear bumpers that are coming down pit road.
All right, I'm watching Danielson. The right sides are up. And the lefts are up. So Danielson goes with 4.
Yep, no one chancing it.
Yeah,
even
no
with about 12 laps left to go, Fetty will beat Danielson for second. Yes.
Yeah. So none of them were willing to risk the 2 tires there, Sam. Especially if your leader's taking 4, you want every chance you've got to get past him, and the only way to do it's with 4. I don't think 2 would have been a wise move in the end there, because seeing as what the leader did. But hey, listen, if hindsight was 20/20, we'd all be geniuses.
Alright, so here comes the field. I think we'll end up with 2 more laps of caution here. Wouldn't be surprised if the lights stay on for 1 more lap. And if they do, and indeed they do, that means we will be going back to green flag racing with 11 laps left to go. Now remember, this race will end under green, one way or another. Sean, does William Hartman not want to be champion?
Sam, I don't know about that. He's decided to start from the top side. Now, remember, he spun the tires last time he got restarted, so maybe starting up a little bit higher on the track there will avoid that. Listen, he's got the pace. I don't think it matters which line he starts in. I think what matters is he doesn't spin the tires again and wreck the truck.
Well, at the very start of the race, Sean, Hartman and Fetty were neck and neck heading into turn 1, and the only reason Hartman came out of a lead after turn number 2 was because he was down low. I mean, yeah, sure, he spun the tyres on the previous restart, but he still won the race into the first corner. Fortunately, we just created more drama. Hartman gets another great restart, and he has the track to himself.
Yes, he does. Hey, I think Fetty fell asleep there. Just taking a nap. Get the pillow off the steering wheel, buddy. Let's go, go, go. I checked everybody up behind him because look at this. Richard all over the bumper. Judd Danielson, Callis right there, door to door with Richard. Danielson starting to move a little bit. Looks to the top side there off the bumper of Fetty.
A bit of a gamble in my mind by Hartman, but he came out on top. Half a second already ahead of Fetty. Danielson. Just 7 trucks left on the lead lap right now. And 4 on back who are not running for the championship, all scrapping for position, with Callis currently ahead of Richard, Dullard and McFadden.
You know what? I don't think it's coincidence that 3 of our championship contenders are at the front of the field. Had Daniel Jackson taken better care of the truck, I think he'd be right here with him. Oh, and Fetty really close to the wall that time. Look at this. Hartman not running away. He's not opening things up too much. It's still a half a second.
Yeah, but that's a cushion there, Sean, because here's the thing. This race will be over in 8 laps or so. You're not going to burn the tyres off in 8 laps. He'd have to make a really big mistake to lose that kind of time on these newer tyres.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Less than 8 to go now. Battle for second. Fetty and Danielson. Silver's better than bronze. And of course, if anything did happen to Hartman, gold is a lot better than silver.
You know, and Sam, this could always come down to a green-white checker, because we have that here in the Sim Speed Shop Truck Series, and boy, how exciting would that be? I don't want to set that up because I really would rather see it go to the green flag here. Judd Danielson digging down low. Too low, maybe not enough momentum there to get up alongside of Kevin Fetty.
Well, it seems early on in the rounds, when you still have grip in the tyres, you can make the low line work for a pass. And maybe that's why Danielson's trying that now, because the later they get into the round, when the tyres start to go away, the truck just pushes too much on the exit of the corner, it looks like, when you're trying to run that low line, when you have to try and pinch your truck down on the exit, but at the same time not run into the truck on top of you.
Yeah, it tightens up too much, Sam, and it scuffs off way too much speed. And now Hartman's starting to open it up. Back in the field, Mike Donahue decides to bring his truck down the pit lane. Not sure exactly what the problem was there, but that'll leave Donahue now back in 9th.
Yeah, he was involved in the wreck earlier on in the day.
Man, and Danielson is still driving it right off the bumper. Fetty, every lap around, it gets to him. Gets there, and then fades back.
4 laps left to go, unless we have a green-white checker. Then the 2018 SSCA Sim Speed Shop Truck Series. Hartman, Fetty and Danielson. Now 3 drivers left racing for the championship after Daniel Jackson retired early on in the race. These 3 have been running 1, 2 and 3 pretty much all night long. Second and third have switched around on a couple of occasions. It's been hard to displace Hartman, though, who, if he pulls this win off tonight, will win the last 4 rounds to wrap up the season. Here at a track that he told us at Phoenix, if I recall correctly, am I correct, Sean, in that Hartman said this wasn't exactly his favourite track?
Yeah, no, he did. That was his quote. He wasn't fond of Homestead, so... Listen, he put in the work, Sam. They obviously got some laps in. Battle for second, though, man, is really, really getting tight now. As Danielson has really found the left side of Fetty's truck.
2 laps left to go. Sometimes on championship scorecards, it will tell you who was the runner-up of a championship, because you always remember how hard it was to be champion when you look back in the scoreboards and see who you had to beat, you know, who was it that had to beat for second in the points? That's the guy who gets talked about the second the most. Right now, as they start the final lap of the season, the race will be over, the championship will be over in 1.5 miles. It looks like Hartman's going to walk away a very deserved champion, but who will be the runner-up in those statistician books? It looks like it's going to be Fetty. Fetty, who only advanced to the championship off of a tiebreaker last time at Phoenix. Danielson throws it into the turn. It's not going to stick, but what's for sure is a 67 crosses the line, and William Hartman is champion.
Champion in the final race of the stock cars. Oh, geez, the SSCA Truck Series history, as it will be moving over to the Podium Series next season. And congratulations to William Hartman.
Sure, we're going to see a bit of a smoke show for him on the front straight here. First time this truck will have seen any kind of abuse, really, all race long. A flawless performance out there, or as virtually as flawless as it could be from the driver of the 67, who's now going to burn it down so that no one can check his truck over in the tech inspection shed at the end of his sin. Alright, we're going to let him celebrate, and then we're going to talk to him here on the GSRC, give you a full race rundown, and drive interviews. Don't go away.
The Lordco 200 is in the books. And we have a winner, we have a champion. And they're one and the same. So let's look at the results real quick here on the Global SimRacing Channel. William Hartman wins this race going away. Kevin Fetty in the number 94 finished second. Judd Danielson, third place. Best he could manage. Sean Callis comes all the way up to finish fourth. He had a great night in the 43. Ray Richard also had a great night in the 44. He'll finish fifth. Sixth going to go to Michael Dullard. He had his trouble, but he does hang on for 6th, 7th to Mark McFadden in that Lordco Chevrolet. And Robert McFarland in the double odd. He had a tough night. Got caught up late there and finishes 8th. Mike Donahue had his trouble also. He'll finish 9th in the 70. Jeff Martin, the meat wagon, well, it comes home a little slow in 10th there. Unfortunately, he got involved in a wreck, and well, that ended his night really. Daniel Jackson, tough night for him. Battled connection issues, battled damage, and then finally just, well, put her behind the wall. The 84 will finish 11th. Jeremy Crandall, 12th place for him, and William Davis there, Will in 13th and number 11. But this is all about the championship at this point, and well, we have caught up with our champion, and I think now would probably be as good a time. I guess I got to ask him, Will, are you still in the car? Have you actually been able to get out of the car and I'm sorry, the truck, and is the champagne spraying at the moment?
Oh yeah, it's spraying everywhere. We're really pumped down here. Love it for the Savage Drive guys for us to go 1-2 tonight, and 1-2 in the championship's awesome feeling, and a great race overall. So that was a blast.
I bet it was. If I'm being honest, it just didn't really look like anybody had anything for you. You said you weren't a huge fan of this track. Did you get some quality practice in leading up to this? Is that the explanation for the run?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing all season, man. Those Savage Drive guys, we all get together and put in a ton of practice each and every week, and it's really paid off across the board for all of us, especially towards the end of the season. You started to see the results getting better and better and better. Just all results, all that hard work, and those guys, and we're all working together to make each other better. So I think that was a huge part of it. And Homestead's all right. It's an okay track. Definitely not one of my favorites. And I'm telling you right now, that 17 truck that was behind me for a good portion of that race, I think he may have been the better truck at certain stages of that race. If he had gotten past me, I don't know how I would have ever gotten past him. He was really, really good tonight.
You know what? After that last caution, he got caught up behind Fetty, and he just, you didn't experience it much this evening, but it was really, really hard to pass. And Judd just not able to pull that off. I honestly, when you go back and watch the replay of the race, if you do, I thought Judd had something too. I really did. I thought he was probably one of your only threats on track, but unfortunately he never got the restart he needed to get up in front of you. And I think that's the only way he could have kept you away, is if he'd gotten around you. So, Will, I got to ask you, 2019, not too far around the corner. Of course, the SSCA going away. It's going to be the Podium Series next year. You planning on running trucks and cup cars both, or are you going to maybe focus on one series?
I'm not really sure what the plans are right now. Really leaning towards probably running the truck series at Podium, and seeing what we can do there. Really excited with the format that they've got going there, and really looking forward to trying some of that stuff out. But we haven't really locked down exactly what the plan is for next season. We're just going to kind of celebrate this one, and we'll start worrying about that a little further down the road.
All right. Well, I'm sure there were a lot of people involved. You can thank them now. Yeah,
I got to thank everybody over at SSCA for putting on this whole season, man. It's been unbelievable from start to finish, and I can't thank those guys for their hard work and dedication enough. Everybody at Sim Speed Shop for sponsoring our series. You guys for your great broadcasts throughout the season. It's amazing to go back and watch these races, and you guys do an excellent job week in and week out. And then I got to thank the guys over at Savage Drive. It's the best group in the series. No, it's hands down, like not even close. Those guys are awesome. So can't thank them enough for everything that they did throughout the whole season.
Well, William, you're too kind, my friend, and hopefully this is the last time we get to see you race. So congratulations. Enjoy that championship. You absolutely deserved it. Sam figured you won 27.2% of the races. So that's not bad. Listen, if you're a major league ball player with the wins that you had in that percentage, you'd probably make about $10 million a year. So good stuff, man. Congratulations, and we'll see you soon.
All right, thanks, and thanks again, guys. You guys are great.
All right, that is William Hartman, the man from Club Michigan, wins the championship here in the Sim Speed Shop Truck Series. Kevin Fetty just missed out on it. He's waiting in the wings here. Kevin, listen, first of all, congratulations. After that last caution, what a job you did to keep Judd Danielson in the mirror. We talked about it throughout the race. It was really tough to pass out there tonight, wasn't it?
Holy cow, it was tough to pass. There on that last restart, I knew if I gave him the top, I was done for it, and I knew if I gave him the bottom, he'd have to pull something miraculous in order to get by me. So I moved up a lane and gave him the bottom, and he tried a couple times and just was never able to get far enough to make the pass. So that was a lot of fun, but boy, that was nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it seems like if you tried to work that bottom groove, that the truck just tightened up too much on the exit, and it just killed the momentum of the truck on the inside. Is that what you experienced?
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. There's a point there, I believe it was the second stage. I spent 10, 12 laps trying to get by Jeff Martin, and
Yeah.
I could get a run on him, but as soon as I started up off the corner, the truck got tight, and there he went on the outside right past me. So it was challenging to try to make a pass if you didn't have the upper or the high line.
You mentioned Jeff Martin. I got to ask you, is it intimidating when a truck that says meat wagon on the side of it comes up next to you?
That is absolutely hilarious. Jeff is a trip. Even in practice, he's hilarious to talk to. So that's sort of hilarious. It's in keeping with Jeff Martin. Let's put it that way.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? Keeping with the interview here, Kevin, you didn't do this without any trouble. You wrapped the wall pretty good there at one point. Did it cause any significant handling issues for you?
I'll be honest with you. I couldn't tell anything after I did it. Daniel Jackson was clear there, and I got a run on the outside like we did all night, and he started to move up, and it was either back out and let half a dozen people by, or just sort of hit the wall and slow down a little bit. So it didn't seem to adversely affect the truck, and I had no repairs there on the next pit stop, so that was good.
Well, Kevin, we reached that part in the interview where you got a chance to thank everybody that put so much work into this season. Who makes it go?
First of all, let me congratulate William. It's this playoff style is a little odd in that somebody could mediocre their way to the championship and then win it if a couple other guys wreck. And I don't think there's any question that the best driver this entire season won the championship. So congrats to him. Congrats to my fellow Savage Drive drivers. We practice and throw stuff off of each other, and it's made us all better drivers this year. I'd like to thank Gary and the SSCA, and thank you guys. This has been a blast to go back after the race and watch your broadcast of it. Is just highly entertaining.
Well, hey, listen, we want to thank all the guys at Savage Drive and you for putting on a great show tonight, giving us some great entertainment. And you know what? I'll say the same thing I did to you that I did to William. I hope this isn't the last time we get to see you on track. So we'll expect to see you soon, my friend.
Well, thank you, sir. I'm looking forward to the next broadcast you do that we're in.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you for the kind words, Kevin Fetty. One last driver to talk to. It doesn't look like we'll get a chance to talk to Daniel Jackson this evening, but we do have a chance to talk to Judd Danielson. Comes into this race. Judd, high praise from our winner. He really thought there at some point that you were the only guy that could beat him. I was kind of in agreement with him. What happened? It just seemed impossible to pass Fetty there after that last caution. No, and all that. And Judd, I hope he heard me. I don't waiting for his mic to come on here. It's looks like it's muted at the moment. So we'll give Judd just a moment to try and get it together here. Judd started this race in 8th, and he does come home on the podium here in 3rd. And we'll give him just a moment longer here. We want to talk to the podium. We want to talk to the championship contenders going into this thing. Judd, if you're listening, man, unmute the microphone. And we've lost Judd. So, unfortunate as that may sound, it's the case here tonight from Homestead-Miami Speedway. And that is the end of this magnificent season, which we were so happy to come on board and take over halfway through. We'd like to thank all of the organizers and competitors of the Simulated Stock Car Association. See, I can say it. And in the Sim Speed Shop Truck Series for coming out here tonight and putting on a tremendous race and just a great season for us and for the fans. Miss Kathy Stone, want to thank her for tuning into every one of these races, even from her hospital bed just a few weeks ago. One of the great fans here in the SSCA, and we thank her. We'd also like to thank all the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcasts. You can see them there listed on the screen. We want to thank Lordco.com for sponsoring this race tonight. We want to thank all the great sponsors from this season. Remember, Lordco.com, they are the largest distributor retailer of automotive parts and accessories in British Columbia. We've got over 100 stores. Check them out, Lordco.com. And you know what? We certainly want to thank Casey Lalonde and Erica, I'm sorry, June Lalonde and Erica Colm. I got off script, guys, and for all their great work. look on the screen for how to get a hold of them. June Lalonde, a link, or I'm sorry, to Eric Ekholm's music is in the description of this broadcast. And we want to thank the team today. Of course, Sam, Joe behind the scenes there, twisting and tweaking the dials for us. Dougie Beard on those cameras. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, visit us at globalsimracingchannel.com. You know, we've got a large presence on social media, but it can always be bigger. Join us at Twitter at GSR Channel. Go over to Facebook. If you type in Global Sim Racing Channel, you'll find us there. And listen, we're on Instagram. Not huge yet, but man, we're working on our Instagram game, and we'd love to have you follow us, GSRC_Graham. And most importantly, if you're not a follower, subscribe to us here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Now, big announcement. Go on over to the iRacing Esports Network now. You're free to go and watch the Lionheart IndyCar Series tonight from Iowa Speedway. Yes, the Children of the Corn are playing at Iowa tonight. So go join them. Soup and Richie have got all the coverage for you. And again, that's over on the iRacing Esports Network right here on YouTube. Listen, folks, it's been a pleasure calling these truck races for you this season. Look at our coming up events here. Mark those down on your calendar. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.